Welcome everyone to a brand new episode of Story Cubes. This is a fun game where the objective is to use all of the cubes to create a story. And my clues of what these cubes are pretty much the images. So this one could be time or possibly time travel. The eye can easily be that I see someone or someone sees me. Fire could be that I need warmth, or possibly that I need to get somewhere warmer, or maybe I need fire for defense. Doesn't matter. There's no actual description for these dice. It's just pretty much your own interpretation of what the dice mean. But the objective is to use all of the dice in your story as you go. And I'm going to do 3 rolls. The first roll will be the opening to the story. The second roll will be the main chunk, the middle of the story, and the third roll is me ending the story. So 3 rolls, each beginning, middle, and end. And last episode, I asked everyone to go into the comments and give me a bunch of different title ideas that you'd like to see me tell a story about. So let's jump into it. The first one I'm going to do is called Stranded at Sea, A Vacation Gone Wrong. So Stranded at Sea, A Vacation Gone Wrong. Alright, so the first thing that went wrong is the dice. One of them went off the table and onto the ground. That's cool. That's lovely. Let's re-roll that one. Okay, so the game's supposed to start every game. I have to say once upon a time. So let's begin. Once upon a time, there was a magical family, and this family lived in a castle. They were a very wealthy family to live in that castle, and it was constantly locked so that no one could get in. And the only way that they were able to get in is if they were to investigate for the clues that led them into this fortress. Well, because that this family, who was magical and lived in a castle, never really received too many company, they spent most of their time lazily in the castle. They never went anywhere until one day there was an old man who was walking around smelling the flowers. He was a sort of person who loved flowers. He loved the outdoors, and he had come across the castle that this family lived in. Now, in the dead of night, he decided to investigate the castle some more. And as he drew near to the castle, he discovered that the clues to their whereabouts was quite simple. You see, most of the clues would draw you in. You didn't really have to try too hard. It wasn't that they didn't want visitors, they just didn't want anyone breaking in. So the elder man went into the castle in the dead of night, found the clues, and was able to get himself into the castle to talk to this magical family. He spoke to the family and told them that it seemed like as they have been living their magical lives locked away in this castle, that it seemed that their lives have gotten boring, and that he felt that the best thing for them to do was to explore the world, to go out into the wilderness. So he helped them with the direction of where they needed to go. And the best thing for them to do was to go on a boat, a cruise. So the family and the older man, they searched and searched for the best cruise for them to travel in. And they weighed the options of what was the best option for them to, which cruise was the best one. And they decided that that was the best choice. They found the right one. They went to the building of the cruise company, and they had decided that we were going to go use your boat to travel the world. And it was a sealed deal. They went out and they decided that this was the cruise for them. But what they did not know was that this cruise was attracted to icebergs. And they realized, uh-oh, we found out that the cruise that we're on is attracted to icebergs. And this particular one had crashed into an iceberg and it sprung a leak and it started to sink. And they hurried to the rafts. And that's when they had realized that even though this vacation that was supposed to be a family thing for them to get out of the castle and explore the world, unfortunately, in their raft, they were then stranded at sea. So, they they spoke to each other in the raft to figure out what it is that they should do. And that is when they decided that the only way that they can escape is if they were to put their minds together and see if they can search for some sort of device to help them escape from this predicament. They fortunately did find a locked chest that was underneath one of their seats. And they panicked only at first, but then realized that they had magic. And then they used their magical abilities to unlock the chest. And inside was food rations and first aid, and including a cell phone, at which point they had called for help. And they decided that the best way for them to get help was by a water plane. And so they called in a water plane. It flew in and it landed on the water and it rescued them. Now you see, the family was not about to give up. They knew that they were close to their destination in the cruise. And so they decided to finish the rest of the journey. And so they went to Egypt because that's where the cruise was taking them the whole time. And when they went to Egypt, they found all the cool pyramids, and they decided as a magic family that they were going to camp out in the pyramids. And they realized that as long as they stuck together, they were going to be able to be okay. The end.